Hey, good afternoon. Wagashikanu Dagashin Disnakasko Kubrakovich. Thank you very much for chiming in to MTN Live. Of course, we are on this afternoon for the regional offices and circles. We have two great guests in the studio today, and we'll go through our regional offices and our circles on what they're up to. But first off, of course, MTN Live is a corporation that focuses on the news in the territory and what we're up to and where we're going and what's happening in our government itself. So there's lots of great news and opportunity to learn what's happening with your government. This is your government. The members, of course, make up the government, and the members let their councils know, the men's, women, youth, knowledge, and grandmother council and the governing council know what they would like to see in their nation. And then, of course, the information goes back through our councils, and the councils will talk to the members through the council structure that's set up currently. So with that, I'd like to chime right into our guest today. This is exciting news, of course, on what's happening, and we have new member with us. We have a new member that is going to be in and responsible for the regional offices. So we have a new regional office keeper. So at this time, I'd like to ask her to introduce herself.
My government name is Lana Reset. I'm from Penimutang First Nation, Treaty 2 territory, and I look forward to speaking to you more on my role within the FNT2 government.
Right on, Miigwech, Lana, and welcome aboard. Just her third day, so we're not going to put a lot of pressure on you, of course, but there's a lot of work on the regional offices that we're going to talk about with our other guests as well.
Miigwech bo, Shramshki gigik nishikas makundo dem zanu zibing donchi. Miigwech denam bo no magien domitamati bigigi doan shua non de debachum genin pe ezim masna tebechiga women on gatashindom. Miigwech.
All righty, Miigwech. Ron Miziabit from Animo Sibing. He's been connected with me for close to 40 years, and he tells some great stories. So hopefully through this broadcast today, he'll tell you how great I was as a kid, I guess. Hey, is that right? No? Okay. With that, I'd like to get right into Lana. Tell us just a bit about the wellness and well-being of yourself and surrounding what's happening and as an Anishinaabe Akwe in the territory.
Okay, English. My personal well-being and my wellness is, I'm actually on a healing path at the moment, and I'm doing considerably well considering I have a large family. I used to work for the FNT2 government a year and a half ago, but I took a step back when my mother got sick. So unfortunately, my mother passed away. So as part of my healing journey, I'm also on a mourning and grieving journey, and it's been hard. And but you know, I'm always here to focus on the betterment of our people's lives, and that will continue to be my focus while being here with First Nations Treaty 2.
Alrighty, good. Awesome, Lana, and thank you, Miigwech Nanaskamin, for coming back to your government, and you had some good experience in this last year and a half also that's going to bring and help bring. So lots of good things happening with our regional offices. Ron, anything that you'd like to add?
I think very important that we consider work-life balance, keeping work away from personal family times. I'm a firm believer in that, and I certainly try to practice it. And I encourage everyone to practice that. I mean, it's very important. You look after yourself, look after your family. That's where your strength comes from. And if you have a healthy family, it'll provide you with a lot of strength. So my thoughts.
Awesome. Well, is that the reason why you don't answer my texts after 6 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. There you have it. Ron Mizzi Abbott talking a bit about wellness and well-being, and Lana Miigwech. So we're going to go right into what is your role now with the FNT2T government? And of course, we got a lot of work ahead of us, but we've done a lot of work. And talk to us about your role and what you expect, but also what changes you've seen as a positive change, but mostly your role. Like, what is your role going forward?
Okay. Right. Well, I've been in this position for 2.5 days now. And I was just recently hired as a regional office keeper, lead keeper. And I'll be overseeing the regional office bundle, which consists of the management and direction of all the regional offices and the staff. And our main focus will be on engagement, engaging our communities and communication, and also just making sure that gateway is open so that we can, all our circles are able to go in there and connect with our Grand Council, our leaders as well. So I look forward to working on that, and I oversee the keepers and the helpers as well in our office. So it's a lot of work, and like I said, I've only been here 2.5 days, and I'm looking forward to the journey.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, Miigwech, she's already given her first report to us, so that's great. The work plan is established, so that's awesome, and I think you guys are doing a wonderful job. You have a great team. You have some really keen Anishinaabe Kwe with you, and of course, one of our veteran workers there as well. So it's going to be very exciting and interesting. Ron, you first started off as Care and Protection of Natural World, and you still are the keeper of the Care and Protection of Natural World. But you're in an important role now with your government. Tell us a bit about that role.
A little bit about, I want to talk about Care and Protection of Natural World because it is something that's near and dear to me as an individual, as an Anishinaabe person that believes in our connection to the land. I say that maybe because partly I was born right on the land of Animuzi, being I was born outside when my mom was cutting wood. So I don't know if that's why I have the connection, but the connection to the land and relationship to the land is what makes us as Anishinaabe people different from anyone else. And as we lose that connection, we lose who we are as Anishinaabe people. So that connection is very important. And our elders have always told us, say, never forget where you come from, right? And that not only means your connection to your community, to your people, but also your connection to the land. Very important. That connection to land heals, has the ability to heal you. That connection to the land has the ability to feed you. That connection to the land kind of has a way of giving you a meaning in life. So it's very important. I never always had the, growing up in Nimouzi, we never had the drum and we never had ceremony in our reserve. And but we always had the elders in our communities that still had that information, telling us to be respectful to our four-legged brothers and sisters, to our winged brothers and sisters, and all the natural laws that they imparted on us as kids in my time anyway. I never followed those laws all the time, but I always came back to them. And as I got older in life, those laws kind of resonated a lot deeper. And it's amazing how you remember those things that you were told as a kid as you get older in life. And there has to be a role there, I think, as because certain things you forget, but there's certain things you'll always remember. And it's that relation to land that's very important. The new role I took on here within the last 2 months is circles keeper. So my role is to oversee the implementation of the work that the circles are doing. And I'm glad Lana's on because we need engagement of our local members to inform our members and to seek their input. One of the biggest things that we have to be involved in as a government is reclamation. Reclamation of who we are as Anishinaabe people, reclamation of our role going forward. And we can't do that unless we can talk to our people in a community that still have a memory of how our Anishinaabe people used to live. So it's very important. I advocate for reclamation because I think that's the foundation for who we are as a government.
Wow, which Ron, great words. You talked about the land and the laws, and one of the key areas right now we've told the colonial government of Canada is that we are focusing on law development, and that means the returning and reclamation of the 21.5 million acres, and that's the only way that the laws are going to be understood by anyone. And I think that's a great step and a great opportunity that Care and Protection of Natural World is doing right now is protecting our territory. The regional offices, big role, Lana. You heard it from Ron that the 7 circles are depending on the connection of the regional offices. You have great keepers and helpers that have helped the regional offices last couple of years to get the laws scribed from the local nations. Let's talk about the laws that we are going to see in the upcoming Grand Council. But one area that I do want to step into is how do you see your role in the communications part of things, the engagements? We talk about the engagements. I know I'm putting you on the spot 2.5 days in, but the engagement is a key factor, one of the work plan items, line items, and you talked about engagements on Monday. Any thoughts or anything to add on engagements on what you think we could do?
I met with the regional office staff yesterday. We're actually working on the work plan, and one of the most important is engaging our Grand Council members. And so what I suggested to them was that we begin to create local nation committees again. We need those local nation committees, and so that we can get our constitutions and our laws developed, because these have to be developed from our grassroots people. Because these laws and the constitution, they're going to be like the guidance. They're how each of our nations should function. So we really need that involvement. We also talked about ways that we can get the leadership more engaged as well, and also creating liaison within the leadership of and like a counselor or the chief, the Ogamakan, who can assist us in creating these communities, and assist us in reaching out to the Grand Council members. So yeah, it's only been 2 days, but I do believe that we've done a great deal on our work plan, and we're hoping to have everything ready by end of the week. I'm working on it, and we're going to do a final review next week. And we want to, get out to the communities, to our nations, and to begin that work, because that's the connection, I would say, is the Grand Council and having them on board to make sure that we get all the laws into place.
Oh, excellent. Awesome. Well, I think that's great that we talked about the connection on getting our councils. Our governing council, of course, we have 12 Ogama and 5 chairs. We also, which is 17 in total with our governing council. And then we have our women's council, youth council, men's council, grandmother council, knowledge council, of course. And the Men's Council is very active in a lot of the peacemaking and lifelong learning. And of course, our Grandmother Council is our tribunal and work with peacemaking now, and our Children Family Nation. So we have a number of laws getting ready for the Grand Council. We've put a lot of engagement processes together for the Grand Council. We plan to go through our citizenship and our health and well-being and our key law that we're going to have another review on and bringing it to the Grand Council. But more importantly, the people need to be involved. They need to come to us as well as and get them involved, and we need to come to them. What do they want to see in the law? What do they want to see? We're just scribers. We're not the ones that are building the laws. The people have to build the laws from the land. And you said it, Ron. Tell us a bit about that. There's a natural law. There's a declaration in place for care and protection natural world and our entire territory, just not in that area, but the lands, resources, and the waters. Tell us how that is fitting into the work that the natural world is doing.
Within the government of FNT2T, we have the Great Binding Law and a Declaration of the Rights of People in Treaty 2 territory. We look at those as foundational documents for our law for a KIH, how we look after a KIH. To supplement that, we develop regulations to support, to enforce, and to monitor the law. Further to that, we developed, there was a consultation protocol that's developed that was sent out to the nations for feedback. And we will need to revisit that because case law has emerged and changed as well. So we need to make sure it's consistent. The other thing we developed along with Earth Lodge was our Key Guardian program. So that is to train people from our nations to be the land guardians, to be a key guardians. So what we've done is we've developed a whole system of how we're going to look after the land. The next step in all this is, of course, ratification, information and awareness to our members and back from our members. And then land guardians, once we get them up and trained, they become the exactly what the word means, land guardians, key guardians. They look after. They will be responsible for looking after our territory. Treaty 2 is comprised of 21.5 million acres, and currently 85% of that is in private hands, which means we don't have access to it. We only have access to roughly 14-15% of our territory to exercise our rights. That is a damning statement, pardon my language. So if you take a look at the whole territory of Treaty 2, and the landmass we have access to exercise our rights, that's abysmal. I don't think that's what our ancestors meant when they entered into treaty 151 years ago. They never envisioned us not having access to our territory. So I think it's imperative that we as Anishinaabe people, we start working on mechanisms where we start a process or start thinking of how we're going to exercise our rights when 100% of our territory is signed over under private ownership. So that's, I'm not going to say that's in my generation or my lifetime, but certainly will be in my children and grandchildren's lifetime. So there needs to be a mechanism in place where we can address that as Anishinaabe people in our territory.
All righty. Well, thank you very much, Ron, and thank you very much, Lana. I just wanted to do quickly look at the executive bundle. And of course, the executive bundle has given us the ability today to meet because the circles and the regional offices are all under the executive bundle. And it's a great bundle that has shared very strong strengths of our government and where we want to be and what's happening with our government. The communication, of course, with administration, the communication with intergovernmental, and then, of course, the tie-in to Treasury and Administration Law and the Earth Law and the peacemaking. You heard this morning, peacemaking is really on its own going, taking off. It'll be doing its law presentation from all the gathering of information that it's received from the nation and the members. So we have another law that's going to be, the Nakaway Win is going to be presented it as it was passed by the governing council, but now the Grand Council needs to pass it. And then, of course, our Children and Family Nation law, which is a very important law, so, and Treasury Administration. So we got 4 key laws that are going to be talked about day 1, 23rd, and 24th, of course, and hoping that the members will support and move forward. That will be a very strong start of reclamation of our government. Thank you very much for today. I think this is great. This is a great communication tool for us. This is we are going to be on as many times as we can, once a week, of course, but we'll be on, and we'll start bringing in members of the nation as well to talk about how they feel about the circles and how they feel on the regional offices, and then the regional offices will talk on how they feel that they can grasp and connect and get more members involved. And absolutely, it's all about bringing the members together. Our Anishinaabe, our Cree, our Nakota people in the territory all have to be proud of what we're doing. We've reclaimed the territory. We're bringing it back to true governance. It's taken time. It's taken time to really work on it. But other than that, keep up the great work. Teach miigwech, and it's always a pleasure to have both of you in. So, all righty. Well, thank you very much. That was our next one coming in. Wow, he's already off. Ready to go.